Trade Critic again. I love it.
Are you pimping?
No, I'm not.
He ain't pimping, but he's pimping.
But I don't think you.
I love this show so much. Markelle Fultz is on his way to your Orlando Magic.
What?
I don't have any details yet in my ear. Has been the highlight of my day. So thank you so much.
Executioner.
I'm distracted by the Welcome to the Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols. I'm here today with Brian Windhorst, Paul Pierce. So many others are going to join us, and we are going to take you through the NBA trade deadline, 3 o'clock Eastern today. We're going to give you the latest on all the breaking trades throughout the show. And you guys saw the top of the show.
Use it responsibly.
When a trade happens.
Use it responsibly.
We have our trade critic. Paul Pierce has never been here for the trade critic. It's my favorite thing, maybe possibly in life. Brian, I know it's not
Use
yours.
it responsibly.
That's not going to happen. Coming up, Adrian Wojnarowski is going to join us to give us the up-to-the-second news on the trade deadline in real time. First, though, it is time for today's trade deadline update brought to you by Kia. And guys, so much already happening today. The Sixers and Warriors have agreed in principle to a trade. Glenn Robinson III and Alex Burks heading to Philly. 3 second-round picks going back to the Warriors. Really going to shore up some shooting on their bench. We'll talk about that. The Kings trading Dwayne Dedmon back to the Atlanta Hawks for Jabari Parker and Alex Len. This marks Parker's 5th team in 3 seasons.
Wow.
Just pretty amazing. And guys, this deal developing as we speak. So far, we have Andre Iguodala headed to Miami in a package centered around Justice Winslow. Now, Woj reporting that Miami still wants to include Oklahoma City in this deal so they can also acquire Danilo Gallinari. We don't know if that's going to happen. At least we do know the Iggy to Miami portion is done, so you know what that means. Guess what time it is? Here's what Iggy told our Mark Spears last night about joining the Heat.
Jimmy Butler, obviously proven as one of those guys who he's looked at as different, but very well respected in terms of the passion and the hard work that he brings to the game. And I feel like his temperament and, the values that he has really resonates with the Miami Heat, and they very well align. And I think he's brought out the best in those young guys. And those are some of the guys I'm really excited about as well, because I feel like I can make a most impact with those guys. And my big man Bam, I'm really looking forward to playing with him. I've been hearing about him the last couple of years from a friend down in Miami, so helping him get better, really excited about that opportunity.
Really is amazing. Iggy's making this video. Brian, you and I were around the Heat last night, and this deal wasn't even done yet, just starting to be reported. So some of these guys in the locker room, Miami sending Justice Winslow, Dion Waiters, James Johnson to Memphis for Iguodala, Solomon Hill, and Jay Crowder. Paul, what does this deal mean? Iguodala going into that locker room, Jay Crowder for the Miami Heat.
Well, this puts them in the mix in the Eastern Conference because you get 2 defensive-minded guys who have lots of playoff experience. You got leadership, and they've been tinkering around the 2 spot and the 4 spot pretty much all year. So I really like this move because with the East, it's pretty wide open. Outside of the Milwaukee Bucks, who I think can be vulnerable, this puts Miami in a great position to possibly, get to the conference finals or possibly the finals.
If they don't add Danilo Gallinari, if it's just this group, would you say they're in the number 2 spot in the East? Just in terms
the East,
of threat?
I put them all in the same category because I like Boston. They have a lot of good wins.
He likes Boston.
They're good though. Just let's keep it high. That's how you see it. Look, Boston's a very good team who can compete. And so they've definitely moved up a notch to possibly be a threat in the Eastern Conference Finals, because you never know when you get to that part of the playoffs, anything can happen, especially in the East.
Brian, can you explain what absolute black magic Andy Ellsberg and Pat Riley just pulled off, considering how hard-capped they were?
First off, last night in that locker room, it was a little weird because the Heat players were all looking at their phones, waiting for Adrian Wojnarowski to tell them they gotten traded because the team wasn't telling them anything.
It was bizarre. They were literally in the locker room trying to figure out what's going on.
None of them went on the court.
I'm going to interrupt you because we have a very big one. What? Adrian Wojnarowski tweeting, D'Angelo Russell is going to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Andrew Wiggins.
Wow.
Look at this.
Oh, wow.
We also have a 21 protected first-round pick, a 2022 second-round pick. Warriors will send also Jacob Evans, Amari Spellman to the Timberwolves as well. Woo, Brian.
So that's a huge win for the Wolves, because what the Wolves wanted to do, the reason this was slowing it down, they did not want to give their 2020 first-round pick unprotected. A couple of days ago, that was the kind of deal that Golden State wanted. They were willing to take Wiggins, but they wanted to be incentivized with multiple picks, including this year's pick, which we know is going to be very good. For the Wolves to be able to make this deal without having to give up their pick this year is just a tremendous deal. Completely energizes that team and really changes their outlook, especially considering they still have other assets that they did from the Robert Covington deal.
Andrew Wiggins is going to Golden State, Paul. D'Angelo Russell finally united with Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota. This is huge.
Absolutely. I mean, they want to get off Andrew Wiggins' contract, huge contract, and they'll get flexibility down the road because D'Angelo Russell doesn't have the years on his as Wiggins did. They're not going anywhere this year, and we all know that. So, like Brian said, it gives them flexibility in the future to.
But just as from a player's perspective, Karl Anthony Towns was not happy.
He wasn't happy.
He's sending out his sad faces on his IG the other night. Robert Covington goes away. He talks in the locker room about how this was his friend. Now he gets D'Angelo Wiggins. If you're Karl Anthony Towns, how do you feel energized by that?
Just getting a player that you're friends with isn't gonna make you happy.
Okay,
I mean, they're not going nowhere this year, but he wants to win basketball game. He didn't make the All-Star. And so, he's putting up these huge stats, and, only winning is going to cure that sadness. I mean, obviously, when you get a trade.
I think D'Angelo Russell's going to help.
When you get a trade, obviously, it gives you new life. None for them this year, but maybe in the future.
So I guess going forward, Wiggins at 6'8" is kind of a better fit alongside Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
Well, then D'Angelo Russell was, right?
But some people will tell you that Andrew Wiggins was one of the worst contracts in the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that you would have to attach multiple first-round picks to get him to go away. This is what executives have been telling me for months. The fact that the Timberwolves were able to get off of that deal without giving up multiple firsts, without giving up their 2020 pick, which, again, is probably going to be a top 5 pick, it's a huge victory for the Timberwolves, a huge victory for the Timberwolves.
But doesn't this speak to Golden State's belief, to Steve Kerr's belief, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson's belief, that they can work their magic, and by enveloping a player in their system, their work ethic, their ethos, they can change what kind of guy he is in the league?
That they didn't really like D'Angelo Russell.
You think so?
I don't. I mean, they
they
wouldn't make this
a good fit, especially with Steph Curry and Klay possibly coming back. Didn't really fit. Maybe Wiggins fits a little bit more, but I thought from the beginning he wasn't a good fit for Golden State.
If Andrew Wiggins needs to be not a number 1 overall pick, not a savior of a franchise, if we stop looking at him through the lens of how he was drafted and the contract he has, and we just detach him and he's just a player with his size, his ability, and what he's shown so far, because I'm not thinking he's going to metamorphosize into some magical creature we haven't seen yet. But if he is just only the guy we've seen so far, but we take him out of the lens of, man, he's a disappointment as a top pick, or man, he's a disappointment for that contract, is he enough to help a Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and high draft pick next year team?
I'm not so sure, because now you go from a player who looked at himself as a superstar. He was a number 1, 2 option. Now he's going to be more of a glorified role player over there. So can he make that adjustment to that type of player, not getting the same touches, not putting up the 19, 20 a game? How can he adjust his game to the Warriors system and being around other superstars? That has yet to be seen.
Ultimately, if you play with Steph and you play with Klay, you need to be able to defend and you need to be a spot-up shooter.
Well, I don't know if he can do that, see?
He has never done that.
He's never done that, so that's how I look at it.
But I got to figure that the Warriors spent a lot of – the Warriors don't make a lot of bad transactions.
Right?
I was just going to say this. They gave up multiple picks and Andre Iguodala to get D'Angelo Russell, and they did that so that they could potentially use him later. If you'd have told them last June when they were doing this deal that they would have a 2021 Wolves pick and Andrew Wiggins, I'm not sure that they would have done it. I'm not sure they wouldn't have just said, goodbye, Kevin Durant. Let's use this cap space for other players.
Well, but who are they getting? Who are these other players that they were magically getting?
Well, cap space can be used many different ways.
Ask the New York Knicks. I mean,
I think that the track record of the Warriors indicates that they could have done better, but I guess we'll wait and see. This is a real It's a real victory for Minnesota. I mean, right now, I got to assume that they're doing a dance in Minnesota, which has been had a horrible 3 months.
Well, I want to bring in the man who just broke this huge trade. Woj, this is quite a way to start off our trade deadline
this is
special.
A certified Woj bomb.
Thank you very much. He just had a little communication problem. He will be back.